We're going to start, Mina, with Chelsea. We're told they've been encouraged to go back in for Rafael Leão. What can you tell us about him and how key is he to AC Milan?
You see, this really surprises me because by far he is, actually that's pretty harsh to say by far, but he is certainly for me their star. And if I'm watching Milan, then I'm looking out for Rafael Leão. He is a traditional winger. He is brilliant at dribbles. He won Best Serie A Player of the Year last year. He is just full of acceleration and pace and dribbling and ability and an eye for a goal. And he does all of it with this sort of nice grin on his face that makes you really entertained when you're watching him. Again, when I look at that team, there are a lot of great players from the midfield. Obviously, we spoke, Frank Kessie moved to Barcelona. They have Benacer, who was amazing over the weekend, Brahim Diaz. But Leao's the star. So for them to give him up at this stage of the transfer market, to me, seems very bizarre. And I think that unless you're paying something well over the odds, it basically is Milan saying to themselves, well, we're going to have to accept a hit this season.
Were either of you surprised that no one came in for Benacer in this window?
I think Benacer's always wanted, but he is somebody who doesn't seem to ever really put himself out there as in, you know, come and get me. He seems very happy where he is. And I think with the kind of education that he's getting from Stefano Pioli, who is a coach that works very closely with the players, he contacts them every day, talks to them about their talents and that. I think he feels that it's the right stage. So obviously, you know when players want to move in the way that they decide on their agents and what they're doing. But Benacer, for me, is one of the best midfielders in the world. And I do think, and he won I think at the time with the Africa Cup of Nations, best player. So I do think that eventually he will move on. But hopefully it's not for a while yet and we get to enjoy him.
Yeah, I do want to pick up on Leão because this is obviously would be a huge transfer if it happens. Probably the single most important attacking player on the Milan team that won the league last season and part of this sort of young group. There's no question that Milan would like to keep him. The issue is that he's got a contract till 2024 and so this is that sort of classic scenario that lots of clubs find themselves in where he hasn't renewed and so this is probably your last chance to sell him at the peak of his value. You could sell him next summer and you'd get something for him for certain, but this is the chance to do it. He's got a release clause at 150 million euros. I don't think Chelsea are going to go to that. The question is whether or not Chelsea might be able to hit a point at which Milan are willing to deal. And what's being talked about in Italy is, well, maybe this can work for Milan if they could get, say, Ziyech and Pulisic to come in the other opposite direction, a couple of other attacking players who could fill that gap. Because realistically, if you're Milan, you can't replace an attacking talent this late in the transfer window, even if you've got 100 million euros burning in your pocket, because then every other club knows you've got 100 million euros burning in your pocket.
And it's just also that combination he has with Theo Hernandez, you know, that it would be a shame to lose him.